Hi everyone, welcome to our English podcast. Today's topic is super important if you're learning English, practicing speaking skills. I'm Linda.
And I'm Leo. Learning English speaking skills can really change how you feel when you talk to others in English. You can feel more confident, and it can even make English more fun to use.
Absolutely, Leo. So today's goal is to talk about why speaking practice is so helpful and give you some easy ideas to get started. We know that speaking in another language can feel a little scary sometimes, but don't worry, we're here to help.
Yes, and we'll keep things simple. So, if you're a beginner or just starting to speak more in English, don't worry. Let's dive into why practicing your speaking skills is so important.
So, Leo, what do you think is the main reason people should practice speaking English regularly?
Good question, Linda. I think the main reason is that speaking is a way to use the language in real life. You know, we learn English so that we can communicate with others, right? Speaking allows us to do that.
That's right. You can learn a lot of words and grammar rules. But if you don't practice speaking, it's hard to feel comfortable when you actually talk to someone.
Exactly. Speaking is a little like riding a bike. The more you practice, the better you get. And at first, it might feel a bit difficult, but with time, you'll start to feel more relaxed and confident.
And it's totally okay to make mistakes. In fact, making mistakes is a good thing because it helps you learn. Each time you speak, you're getting one step closer to feeling natural in English.
Right, Linda? And one of the great things about practicing speaking is that it also helps your listening skills. When you have a conversation, you're not just speaking. You're also listening to the other person. It's like two skills in one.
Yes, so remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to communicate and learn. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will feel, and you'll start to notice small improvements each time.
Now, we know that many people feel shy or nervous about speaking English, especially if they're beginners. Linda, have you met people who feel this way?
Oh yes, all the time. Feeling nervous is completely normal. Many people worrying about making mistakes or feel like their English isn't good enough. But remember, Leo, we don't learn a language in one day.
Exactly. And a lot of times, we worrying too much about what other people think. But here's the truth. Most people don't mind if you make a mistake. They respect that you're trying, and that's what matters.
That's such a good point, Leo. If you're listening and you feel shy about speaking, remember, the people you're talking to are not judging you. They know it's not easy to learn a new language.
Yes, and it's okay to feel shy. Just remember that the more you practice, the less nervous you'll feel. You'll start to get used to it, and before you know it, speaking English will feel much more natural.
One thing that really helps with practicing speaking is starting small. You don't need to have long conversations at first. Even a short conversation can be very useful.
Exactly. For example, if you're in a coffee shop, you can practice by ordering in English. Try saying something like, "Hi, can I have a coffee, please?" or "Thank you." Small sentences like these are great for getting used to speaking.
Yes, or if you're with a friend who also speaks English, you could practice a little bit together. You could say hello, "How are you?" or "What did you do today?" Even just asking simple questions can help a lot.
That's a great idea, Linda, and you don't even need someone else to practice. You can talk to yourself. It might sound funny, but saying sentences out loud, even when you're alone, can be really helpful.
Yes, speaking out loud helps you get used to the sound of your own voice in English. And over time, it won't feel so strange. So, if you're listening, try saying a few sentences each day. It's like training your brain to think in English.
Let's talk about building confidence because that's something a lot of people struggle with. Speaking in another language can make you feel unsure, right?
Definitely, confidence is something that grows with time. You might feel nervous at first, but the more you speak, the more you'll trust yourself. One great way to build confidence is to set small goals.
Yes, that's a great idea. You could set a goal to say one English sentence each day, or you could try to say hello to one new person each week. Small goals like these can make speaking feel less scary.
And every time you reach a goal, it's a little success. It feels good to reach goals, even if they're small. Each time you practice, you're getting better, even if you don't notice it right away.
Right, and don't forget to celebrate your progress. Even if you just say a few words, it's a big step. Give yourself some credit and feel proud of every little thing you accomplish.
So, to sum up, today we talked about why speaking is so important, and we shared some ideas for practicing. Remember, start small, don't be afraid of mistakes, and keep going, even if it feels hard.
Yes, everyone, practicing speaking is one of the best things you can do for your English. Just keep trying and remember that every little bit of practice helps.
In our next episode, we'll talk about more specific ways to practice, like using different topics to make conversations fun and interesting.
Yes, we'll share lots of ideas that you can try on your own or with friends. Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep practicing and have fun with your English journey.
Thank you all. Remember, just one sentence a day can make a big difference.
Yes, at the end of each day, try to say a few sentences about what you did. For example, you could say, "Today, I went to work," or "I met a friend, and we had lunch." It doesn't have to be complicated.
And the best part is, you can do this anywhere. You could talk to yourself in front of a mirror, or even just think in English when you're on the bus or walking home. It's simple, but very effective.
Exactly, Linda. Talking about your day in English helps you use words and phrases you already know, and it also makes English feel like a part of your everyday life.
Yes, and don't worry if you only say a few sentences at first. Just try to speak a little each day, and you'll start to feel more comfortable.
Another great way to practice speaking is to role-play situations. This means pretending you're in a situation and practicing what you might say.
Right, for example, you can imagine you're at a restaurant. Practice ordering food by saying, "Hello, can I have a salad, please?" Or imagine you're at the store and ask, "How much does this cost?"
Yes, and you don't even need another person for this. You can practice role-playing by yourself. This helps you get ready for real situations, so when they happen, you'll already know what to say.
And if you have a friend who's also learning English, you can role play together. One person can be the customer, and the other can be the waiter or cashier. It's a fun way to practice.
Absolutely. Role-playing makes speaking practice more realistic and less scary. You get to practice in a safe space, and it's also a fun way to learn.
Now, let's talk about using English in everyday tasks. This means doing small things in English throughout your day.
For example, if you're making a shopping list, try writing it in English. Or if you're cooking, read the recipe in English. This way, you're practicing English while doing normal things.
Yes, and you can even practice speaking out loud while doing these tasks. If you're cooking, you could say, "Now I'm adding salt," or "I need to chop the onions." It's a simple way to keep using English.
Exactly. It might feel strange at first, but over time, it will feel natural. This helps make English a regular part of your life, and that's really helpful for learning.
So try it out. The next time you do something simple, like cleaning or cooking, try talking about it in English. It's like turning daily life into your own mini English lesson.
One more tip that can really help is to record yourself speaking. This might feel a bit strange at first, but it's a very powerful tool.
Yes, when you record yourself, you can listen to your pronunciation, see how you sound, and notice things you might want to improve. You could start by recording a short message, like introducing yourself.
Or you can pick a topic like your hobbies and talk about it for 1 or 2 minutes. Don't worry about making it perfect. The goal is just to get comfortable with speaking.
And remember, you don't have to share the recording with anyone if you don't want to. This is just for you to hear yourself and notice your progress.
Exactly. And over time, you can listen to older recordings to see how much you've improved. It's a great way to see your progress.
Yes, this is a good way to practice using different words. For example, if you look at a picture of a park, you could say, I see green trees, people walking, and kids playing. It helps you think of vocabulary for describing things.
And if you have a friend who's also learning English, you can describe pictures to each other. It's a great way to learn new words and practice speaking at the same time.
And it's okay to keep it simple. Just talk about what you see. And if you don't know a word, don't worry. The goal is just to practice speaking. One more tip that can really help is to record yourself speaking. This might feel a bit strange at first, but it's a very powerful tool.
All right, so today we shared some specific ways to practice speaking every day. Talking about your day, role-playing, using English in daily tasks, recording yourself, and describing pictures.
Yes, and remember, practicing every day doesn't have to be long or difficult. Even a few minutes a day can make a big difference.
And it's all about making English a part of your life. The more you use it, the more comfortable you'll feel. Little by little, you'll see yourself improving.
Yes, it's all about keeping that motivation up and finding ways to make speaking practice fun and rewarding. So let's jump right in.
All right, let's talk about setting goals. Sometimes learning a language can feel overwhelming, so setting small, clear goals can really help. Linda, what's a good goal to start with?
Good question. Leo, a simple goal could be something like speak English for 5 minutes every day. You could talk about anything, your day, your plans, or even just describe the room you're in. The goal is to speak even if it's just a little.
Yes, and it's important to keep the goal realistic. Don't try to set a big goal right away, like speaking for an hour. Start with something small, and once you feel comfortable, you can slowly increase the time.
Exactly, and remember, it's okay to adjust your goals. Some days you might feel more motivated than others, and that's perfectly normal. The key is to keep going, even if it's just for a few minutes.
And you can set different goals for different situations. For example, one day, your goal might be to practice ordering food in English, while another day, you might focus on describing something in detail.
Another helpful tip is to write down your progress. Keep a notebook or journal and write about what you practiced each day. This way, you can see how much you're improving over time.
Yes, writing about your speaking practice is a great way to keep track of what you've learned. You can write down any new words or phrases you used, or even write about what was easy or challenging.
And if you record yourself speaking, you can also note down what you liked or what you want to improve. Over time, you'll be able to see how much progress you've made, and that can be very motivating.
Exactly, Linda. Seeing your progress on paper is a good reminder that every bit of practice helps. It doesn't have to be a big improvement each day. Even small steps count.
Now, let's talk about finding a speaking partner. Practicing with someone else can really help, especially if you're working on becoming more confident in speaking English.
Yes, if you have friends or family members who are also learning English, you can practice together. It doesn't need to be a formal lesson. Just having a conversation is great practice.
You could even set up a weekly call or a meeting where you just chat in English for a few minutes. And remember, it's okay if both of you are still learning. You're there to support each other.
Exactly. The goal isn't to speak perfectly. It's to practice and get comfortable with the language. And if you make a mistake, just keep going. You're both learning, so it's a safe space.
If you don't have someone nearby to practice with, don't worry. There are many English-speaking clubs or online groups you can join. Some communities even have online language exchange partners.
Yes, there are websites and apps where you can connect with people around the world who want to practice English. Some of them might be native English speakers and others might be learning just like you.
And you can practice with people from different countries, which is really interesting because you get to learn about different cultures while you improve your English.
That's a great point, Linda. Practicing with others also helps you learn to listen to different accents and speaking styles. It's a fun way to get better at understanding English.
One way to stay motivated is to reward yourself for reaching your goals. For example, if you practice speaking every day for a week, give yourself a treat. Maybe watch a movie in English or have your favorite snack.
Yes, giving yourself a reward can make practice feel more enjoyable. Learning a language is hard work, so it's okay to celebrate your progress.
And rewards don't have to be big. Even a small reward, like listening to your favorite English song, can make you feel good about your progress.
Exactly. The idea is to make the experience enjoyable. When you look forward to practice, it becomes easier to stick with it.
Another way to stay motivated is to keep things interesting. Try talking about new topics, learning new words, or practicing in different places.
Yes, if you usually talk about your day, try describing your favorite hobby or memory. Changing topics helps you learn new vocabulary and keeps practice from feeling repetitive.
And don't be afraid to challenge yourself a little. If you're used to practicing alone, try joining an English club or speaking with someone online. New experiences make learning more exciting.
That's right. Learning is a journey, and each new experience adds to your skills. So keep trying new things and don't be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone.
All right, everyone. So today we talked about setting goals, finding speaking partners, and ways to stay motivated. Remember, speaking English is a journey, and each step forward is progress.
Yes, learning a language takes time, but the key is to keep practicing and enjoying the process. And if you ever feel stuck, just remind yourself why you started. Speaking English opens up so many new opportunities.
And don't forget, even the smallest practice session helps. Whether it's 5 minutes a day or a full conversation, each step brings you closer to fluency.
Thank you all for joining us in this series. We hope these tips have been helpful, and remember, just keep practicing and you'll see yourself improving over time.
Yes, keep going, stay curious, and enjoy every step of the journey. Thank you for listening, and we wish you all the best with your English practice.
Bye for now, everyone, and keep speaking, keep learning, and keep growing.
Goodbye, and happy learning.